I am a storyteller, weaving haunting tales meant to lull you into a peaceful, eerie slumber. Let the darkness settle around you as you drift into the world of nightmares and whispers. My grandma's house has a secret, and it wants me gone. I hadn't been to my grandmother's house in over a decade, not since my parents died. The old Victorian home sat at the edge of a sprawling forest, its towering frame casting jagged shadows under the pale moonlight. When Grandma passed away last month, I inherited the house, much to my surprise. The will was clear. I had to stay there for at least 3 months before I could sell it. The first time I stepped inside again, an eerie chill wrapped around me. The scent of aged wood and dust filled my lungs, and the house groaned as if it recognized me. The Warnings' old neighbor stopped by that first evening. Mrs. Calloway, a frail woman with sad eyes, clutched my wrist with her bony fingers. "I wouldn't stay there if I were you," she whispered. "That house, it doesn't like visitors." I chuckled nervously, brushing off her words as superstition. But the first night, I heard whispers. Not the kind the wind makes through cracks in the wall. These were voices, low and insistent, threading through the darkness of my room. I turned on the light. Silence. Just the sound of my own breath. The locked room. The next day, I began exploring the house. Everything was just as Grandma had left it, except for one thing, the door at the end of the upstairs hallway. I remembered it from my childhood. Grandma had always told me it was locked for a reason. Curiosity got the best of me. I tried the handle, expecting it to be locked, but to my surprise, the door creaked open. The air inside was stagnant. Dust motes danced in the beam of light spilling through the lace-covered window. A small wooden rocking chair sat in the center of the room, facing the wall. A child's dress hung on the back of the chair, its faded blue fabric swaying slightly. Then the rocking chair moved. The shadows. That night I dreamed of my grandmother's voice. "You should leave, child," she murmured. "The house doesn't want you here." I woke up gasping, my sheets damp with sweat, and then I heard it, the slow, deliberate creak of the rocking chair upstairs. I forced myself to investigate, my heart pounding. The chair was still rocking when I arrived, though the room was empty, but in the dust-covered floorboards, fresh footprints led from the chair to the door. I wasn't alone. The secret. The days that followed were a blur of sleepless nights and eerie occurrences. Shadows moved in my peripheral vision. Doors slammed shut when no one was near them, and the whispers. They were getting louder. I searched through my grandmother's old belongings, desperate for answers. Finally, tucked inside an old trunk, I found a faded leather journal. The last entry sent a shiver down my spine. I tried to keep it quiet, but it grows restless. It doesn't want anyone else here. The house, it belongs to it now. That night, the house made its intentions clear. The escape. I woke to the sensation of icy fingers brushing my cheek. My room was suffocatingly dark, the air thick with something unseen. Then the whispers turned into a guttural voice, reverberating through the walls. "You don't belong here." The bed shook violently. The walls groaned. The locked room's door swung open on its own, revealing a shadowy figure standing in the doorway. I ran. I didn't stop running until I reached my car, breathless and trembling. I never looked back. The house is still there, waiting. But I won't be the one to uncover its full secret, and I hope no one else ever does.